Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbray here again at CinemaCon. I just came out of the Paramount panel, and interesting because of all the studios that are here, I think Paramount actually in some ways had the least to show because they've been really ramping up their production slate, especially since, Skydance took over. They have a lot that's coming, and they teased up a lot of stuff, like making announcements, of dates, but they didn't have a ton of footage, or at least not a ton of footage that hasn't actually been shown already. We saw the trailer for Street Fighter, which dropped this morning, and it looks very cool, and the trailer for Mr. Irrelevant also, which dropped a couple of days ago. In terms of new footage, I'll run down what I saw. I saw Heart of the Beast, which is David Ayer's new movie with Brad Pitt, and it looks great. It looks almost like that movie Far From Home, The Adventures of Yellow Dog. I don't know if anybody remembers that from the 90s, but a grown-up badass version. So Brad Pitt's a former special ops soldier who had a dog, a combat dog, in when he was on his missions, and the dog was badly wounded. So the dog has titanium teeth and an artificial leg. Anyway, they're taking a trip to Alaska. Their plane crashes, and they have to basically survive against the elements together. It looks like there's going to be a ton of action. Does look like a lot of dog and Jeopardy moments, though, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, this movie might be a little bit rough. Although I suspect the dog survives. I mean, you can't kill off the dog, but I guess we'll see. Maybe if Brad Pitt wants that Oscar, maybe they will kill off the dog. Who knows? I also saw some footage from Scary Movie. It's not Scary Movie 6, it's Scary Movie. And it looks really funny. So the Wayans brothers came out and they had this big list of all the people that we want to apologize to because we're going to offend them. What they said basically is that literally every group in this movie is going to be made fun of. And I think that's great. They're equal opportunity offenders. I think we're too precious, and I think that this movie is going to be, I think, cathartic in a lot of ways for people because there are no sacred cows. You watch this trailer, they make fun of DEI, they make fun of white people, they make fun of black people. Apparently Diddy gets a real shellacking at a certain point in the movie. But the footage I saw was great, but the best part, so they do make fun of the substance with Sherry O'Terry, and they make fun of Get Out, but the best part in the movie is their spoof of weapons, where at 2:17 all the kids go crazy, but instead of Aunt Gladys, it's because they stole Marlon Wayans' stash of weed, so they're all really high. It was a pretty funny trailer. It's probably going to drop fairly soon. One interesting moment, though, was Johnny Depp, in a surprise appearance, showed up to promote Ebenezer, and the crowd really was happy to see him. It's a crowd of exhibitors and press, right? And it's the people that, have shunned him for a long time. And it really felt like he was being welcomed back into the fold. And the footage that we saw from Ebenezer really looks great. But if you want to hear about it, you're going to have to head over to the Horror Channel because I'm doing a full breakdown of it with Lance Velchek from the Horror Channel as well. So if you want to hear more about that, head over there. We also saw some footage from the upcoming YA fantasy adaptation Children of Blood and Bone, which is directed by Gina Prince Blythewood. She did The Woman King. It looks kind of similar to The Woman King, but set in a heightened fantasy world. I mean, it's an all-star black cast. Idris Elba, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Regina King, Damson Idris, who the girl next to me went completely insane for when he showed up on stage screaming, "He's so hot, he's so hot." It looks like a pretty interesting movie. I mean, those books are really big sellers, and they're from a genre that I find kind of fascinating, the Afrofuturism genre. So it's set in a world where basically magic at some point had some kind of foothold, but it's been made obsolete or illegal from the king, who's kind of a despot. He's played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. Regina King is his queen, who also seems to be a villain. And the son is Damson Idris, who's a little bit more torn because he's in love with a girl who has magical powers. It looks like your typical YA fantasy stuff, but with an older cast, I think, and done on a very, very large scale. It'd be interesting to see how this movie does. It could do really well. Also, they announced Top Gun 3 is officially in the works, and Call of Duty got a release date. June 30th, 2028. Nothing to show from it yet, though, because it hasn't even been cast. So a pretty light panel, but an interesting one. And I think Paramount does have a lot of interesting stuff in the pipeline. There was a little bit of Paramount Warner Brothers merger talk. David Ellison showed up and he promised that the combined studios would make 30 movies a year. He did say something that made the exhibitors very happy. He said that there's going to be a mandatory 45 days starting now on all theatrical windows, and movies aren't going to hit SVOD for 90 days. So that's probably the biggest gap in any studio. So one thing that they've been advocating for all week long is longer windows. So I think that made a lot of people happy. So we'll see if this merger does go through. Maybe theater exhibitors won't be so poorly served after all. That's it, and we'll be back later with more from the Disney panel.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.